Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. I'm so excited to film today's video, which I know I say about every single video, but today's video is a part 2 to my favorite books in free verse, which you know already if you read the title of this video. But anyway, I don't read books all too often set in free verse, which is why it's been so long since I did part 1. But anyway, the first book on this list is called What About Will? This is a book that I talked about recently in my last recent reads video, so I'm sorry if this review is very redundant. But anyway, if you didn't know, this book is a middle-aged contemporary following a young boy whose life is turned upside down after his older brother has a brain injury. This book is so good, and it's so well done, and it's so underrated, and for what? First of all, I have a soft spot for books set in free verse, hence why I'm making this video, because I feel like free verse formats help bring the story to life so much more. This book is so excellent, and it's so well done, and it's so emotional, and it's so fantastic. First of all, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. Second of all, the plot is so intriguing, and it's so well done. Third of all, the brother dynamic is so cute, and it's so wholesome, and it's so good, and I really enjoyed it. I love books that are driven by a familial relationship. Like, we love to see it. I love family dynamics so much because I love platonic relationships so much more than I like romantic relationships. But anyway, this book is excellent, and it's well done, and it's so good in every single element of it, so with that I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Lost Language. This book is a middle-aged contemporary that follows a young girl who's trying to save a lost language, and she's also trying to save what could become a dying friendship. This book is so good. It is so excellent, and it's so well developed in every single element of it. First of all, the cover is so cute, and it really gives off a whimsical vibe, and the story itself matches up to that vibe. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but that expression should only be used literally with people. No, I mean figuratively with people. It should be used literally with actual books. This book is so good, and it's so well done. First of all, like I mentioned before, it's so whimsical, and it's so well done, and I really enjoyed it. This book felt like a big, cozy hug, and I wanted to also reach through the pages and give the main character a big, cozy hug, because she deserves the world. She is such a lovely, wonderful, curious, well-developed, distinct main character, and I absolutely fell in love with her, and I was so emotionally attached, not only to her, but to every other character in this book, because all the characters are well developed and so distinct. The plot is also so intriguing and so fast-paced and so well developed. This book is so underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so good, and it's so excellent, and it's so fantastic in every single element. So with that, I would highly recommend it, because clearly I can't stop talking about this book. The next book on this list is called The Colors of the Lane. This book is a middle-grade historical fiction story following a young boy set against the backdrop of the desegregation battles of Houston, Texas in 1972 as he navigates the reveal of dark family secrets. This book is so good, and it's so excellent. I mentioned this recently, but I love it when historical fiction stories are so emotional, entertaining, and educational. This book was so good, and it was absolutely so excellent. First of all, the free verse format really helped bring the story to life. Second of all, this time period is a time period that I didn't really know a whole lot about previously, so we love to see it. We love learning about things through books. Third of all, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. This author is so talented, and she is so excellent at writing, because her writing really shone through this story. The plot was so excellent and so well developed and so fast paced. This story is so underrated, and for what? It's absolutely so good, and I really enjoyed it. So with that, I would highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Land of the Cranes. This book is a middle-grade contemporary following a young Latinx girl who holds on to hope and strength at a family detention center for immigrants and refugees. This book is so excellent and it's so well done, and I really enjoyed it. I really like it when these hard-hitting stories are set through the perspective of a young, innocent child, because it really makes the story and the subject matter so much more emotionally impactful. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but anyway, this story was so good, and it was so well done. This book deserves all its hype and so much more. First of all, the plot is so intriguing and it's so fast-paced. Second of all, the subject matter, like I mentioned, is dealt with such sensitivity and such well-developedness. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure if that's a word that I just made up, but anyway, all words are made up. The point is, this book is so good. The characters are so well developed and they're so distinct. The world building is excellent. The plot is so intriguing, and this book deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's absolutely so good. I would highly recommend it. The last book on this list, but certainly not the least, is called When You Know What I Know. There's a huge trigger warning on this book for sexual assault, so please be wary of that before you read this book. But anyway, this book is a middle-grade contemporary following a young girl's journey through the aftermath of abuse. This book is so excellent, and it's so well done. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I love it when hard-hitting subjects are told through the perspective of a young, innocent child, or something like that, because it really makes the story so much more impactful. Because I know, as an older person, that young people should not have to experience these really awful things, and it makes the thing that they are experiencing seem so much more awful than it already is. The plot of the story was also so intriguing, and it was so fast-paced. The free-verse format of the story really made the book and the characters come to life so much more. The characters are so well developed and so distinct, and this book is so good and it's so underrated. So with that, I really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. But like I mentioned earlier, please be wary of the sexual assault trigger warning. So anyway, like I mentioned, I would highly recommend this book. So, in conclusion, I will leave in the description box below part 1 to this video if you haven't seen it already. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the sunflower emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!